Welcome to episode 47 of the Cards and Cartridges podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, aka 0greto. I'm here today with not only my co-host, Chris, aka Koozie Retro Games, but also a lovely, incredible, most fantastic, most talented Peg City, aka T, if you will.
Why don't you introduce me like that?
I did introduce you like.
Well, you just say my man. I don't get like a bunch of adjectives before my man.
Relax. You're not as important as a guest. Why don't you introduce yourself, Peg City? What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing? Yeah, for those of you who are listening and don't know me, my name's T. I go by Peg City 8-Bit on all socials across the board. So you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, a little bit on TikTok. I'm over on Twitch. I'm doing the Game Boy modding, retro gaming, streaming thing. Things are good.
Hell yeah, dude. We're happy to have you on today. We got a couple of cool topics. As always, the Bolo. We'll be talking about something spicy Chris brought up to us pre-show. We'll be talking about Elden Ring. Everyone wants to know more than half the viewer questions. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Were about that game. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that a bit. I mean, just off the bat, I said this to my friends before. This could very well dethrone one of my favorite game of all time. I don't know if it will, or if it'll just come in like the top 3 or whatever. But it's. We'll get into it. And with that, we'll be talking about how much does difficulty play into how much we enjoy a game. Like how difficult or how not difficult can a game be, and what does difficulty really mean? T, you brought up a good point. Difficulty is kind of like
it's subjective. Yeah, it's subjective.
Term.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that a bit. Chris wanted to know how not only Tyler or T. What do you want me to call you during this? This is gonna be fucked up until I figure one thing out.
I mean, T works. That's all good.
T,
Yeah.
Let's go with T.
Yeah.
What T does in like how he combines photography and gaming, why they go together, why they might not go together. He recently did a very cool brand deal with Arizona. We'll be talking about that a little bit. That's pretty cool. He just put that post up today. Make sure to check that out. And finally, we'll be taking 1 or 2 viewer questions at the end. One that stuck out to me was Retro Keegs asking us what our favorite handhelds are and what our favorite controllers were. So we'll be talking about those. Action-packed episode. Chris, why don't you take us through the Bolo, though?
Yep. So the Bolo today is going to be 2 special editions of the Game Boy Advance, and one is more noticeable than the other because it's a color that didn't come out. But we have the blue Toys R Us exclusive Game Boy Advance. So at the top of the screen, on the bottom it says Game Boy Advance, but at the top of the screen it'll say Toys R Us. And then we have a red Game Boy Advance, which instead of the Toys R Us, it's going to say Target. So you have a Target exclusive and a Toys R Us exclusive Game Boy Advance. Just a cool little exclusive thing to collect. And they do go for more money than a regular Game Boy Advance. A regular Game Boy Advance is probably around the $60-ish range. These are ranging from about $90 to $100. So wow. Something really cool, something I have in my collection. And I actually found my Toys R Us one at a game store. They had priced it at the price of a Indigo Game Boy Advance at like $40. And I was like, wait a minute, that says Toys R Us.
Straight slipping.
Yeah. They should have listened to the Cards and Cartridges podcast.
Sure. Is that a US exclusive, though, both of those?
I would imagine so, but I don't know 100%. It's a good question,
off the top of my head.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm gonna say yes. Have you ever seen them up in?
Well, we don't have Target up here, so like I've never seen the Toys R Us one.
Yeah,
but the Toys R Us up here had the black Game Boy Advance, and that was Toys R Us exclusive up here, paired with Super Nintendo or Super Mario Advance 2 or whatever. That's so cool. for years and years and years, like I thought that was like that the black one was exclusive, and then they just started popping up all over, and I'm like, well, I don't feel special anymore.
Damn. All right. Well, maybe then it's not only exclusive to the store, but also to the region. Which is
I know some regions would do like a pack-in game, and they would slap like a sticker on the box. Like there's nothing different for the actual system itself, and they would just slap this game comes with Super Mario 2 6 golden coins or whatever.
Yeah. Well, be on the lookout. And I mean, they're pretty cool system too. Like the red is like a Nintendo red. You know what I mean? Like it's
a Target
red. Yeah, I guess it's technically a Target red. But like there's no other.
It's like
There's
NES controller red, right? Like it's like that
yeah,
bright.
like the button
Yeah.
controller,
Yeah.
100%. There's really no other. That's probably the only time you see it in like
And I
a
think
what other.
yeah, no, I think I like the
N64,
Target
the
one
B
more.
buttons red, GameCube.
And they
has,
made it. They
like,
made it an all red N64 controller, so that
Yeah.
that probably was similar. But there's not many. There's not many Nintendo products that are like that, so it's kind of cool.
And I think I like the Target one more just because there isn't a standard red Game Boy Advance.
Right. There's an indigo one, so that
Yes.
makes it kind of that's why it's even harder to kind of maybe spot that one too. Like if you're just looking at Game Boy lots or whatever online and you don't
Yep.
really look close, maybe you don't see that. But yeah, check those screen lenses. It says there, like on the top of the screen lens, it'll say Toys R Us or Target, and it'll be a cool
It's cool
color.
because it also has the like Target logo, like the bullseye,
Yeah.
or like it's like the Toys R Us font and like the R backwards in the star. So they didn't just like slap like Toys R Us or Target on there in some shitty font. Like it's brand specific. So it's really cool.
T,
Super
have you ever modded a limited edition console?
No.
Have you ever bastardized something?
No,
like that?
I've seen a few people do it, and I mean it's there's like some things to be said. I get it. I don't understand why people get upset about it,
Yeah.
but there's also like there's ways around it now, right? Because like
Yeah,
some of
there's-
those shells are aftermarket now. Like I know a couple people who have like modded the Pikachu exclusive
Yeah.
Game Boy Color, but it's like people want their childhood Game Boy modded,
Yeah.
right?
And
then
I
it's just
understand
like
that.
it's like okay, I can get that. They want all the grit and the the grime that comes with it, and they just want it back. So it's like, well, I can just do an aftermarket shell. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want that. Like I want mine
Yeah.
modded. And then I guess like the way around that would be to do like a TFT where you don't have to
Where you don't have to-
trim the shell or anything like that. But then the screen's smaller, you got to pop out the lens, like it's all of that. But I've never done one personally. no.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that. Yeah. I don't know how I guess there's a lot of ways to look at it. Like you said, if there's a sentimental attachment to it, it's like that's legit.
That's different. Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely a legit reason. I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyways, that's a good little bolo though. Watch out for
Thanks.
that. And now, I mean, moving on swiftly to the according to every single review outlet, the game of the year. Like according to every single review outlet, there's like 10 out of 10 across. I've never seen a video game get more perfect scores than this video game. This is, of course, the Elden Ring. Have you guys heard about it? I mean, you living under a rock if you haven't, but have you heard about it?
It's literally taken over everything. Like you
Yeah.
can't go anywhere without seeing it. Like I've
Right.
read a couple reviews. It's like it's apparently rated the greatest game of all time.
Yeah.
Not even game of the year. Like we're talking
Yeah,
GOTY
yeah,
for real. So I
yeah.
mean, I haven't had a chance to pick it up yet, but like I'm waiting to see, what real reviews are because
Yeah.
critics will say what they want to say about it
Right.
for the coin, right? But listening
Right.
to like people like you and like actual players play this game,
Yeah.
the hype is real. Like it's
Hype
not,
is definitely real.
It's not
I
one of
fell
those
into
games
I'll be full honest with you. I bought it on the hype and good reviews alone.
yeah.
Like that's it. But I'm glad I did. Chris, have you heard about it? Besides,
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've watched your stories, and obviously everybody on Instagram's been posting about it. And
Yeah.
it's gotten me wanting to spend this $25 GameStop gift card I found.
Chris, I'm gonna say this with the utmost of sincerity and
I
like
don't think I could handle it.
utmost of love to you. If you lasted longer than, I would be shocked if you lasted longer than 2 hours.
Did it take you 8 hours to beat the first boss?
No, okay. Let me just. I'll take you through my.
Walk
my
me through the
situation.
gameplay. That will give me a better understanding of why
The
you were
It's a
gameplay-
Souls
so
game.
much.
Like it's
Yeah,
like it's hard as fuck. Like that's just the
Yeah.
whole
The
premise
whole
behind
thing
them.
is that it's very hard. It's very punishing if you do wrong shit in combat. It takes a lot of strategy. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of fucking determination. It takes a lot of fucking maybe insanity. It takes a lot of cleverness, I would say.
Wow.
But let me just say, I am approaching this. A lot of people have played like the Souls game, like so. This is a genre essentially. Like they have made From Software, the developer has essentially made their own genre, and it's called Souls-like. And the Souls games have spanned back all the way to like Dark Souls 1. That was a game that came out on like PS3 and Xbox 360, I believe, PC, all those, and fucking cult classic, like phenomenon. People love it. It's been remastered. Like I've never played it. So that's the thing. I've never played a Souls-like game. And a lot of people, that's why I was a little hesitant about this, but I just bought it because of, like I said, it got 10 out of 10 reviews from like every review outlet. I was
Insane.
like, I couldn't, and the fact that it's like right up my alley with the mythical dragons and like the creatures and the disgusting monsters, huge swords, fucking maces, all these cool spells and crazy shit. I love that shit. I'm a nerd. Like that is
Yeah.
cool as fuck. That just like gets me excited. So like that I don't think I watched a single trailer before I bought it. Like
I haven't seen any trailers either. Like I was very much like that with like there's a couple games where I'm like, explain it to me.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, if you can't explain it to me, I'm not playing it. Like
yeah. And that makes sense.
Why should I spend my $60?
Yeah, I had a buddy do that to me with The Division a few years back. Like, I mean, that game came out in like what 2013 or 2014.
Yeah,
and we played that till like story completion. And I was like, okay, like what now? Like we beat it in like 2 or 3 days. And I was like, what now? And he's like, that's it. We wait for the excursions, like the raids to come out. And I'm like, when do those come out? He's like 6 weeks. And I'm like, okay, I'm out. Like I'm going back to Destiny. Like I don't have time for this.
Destiny was also a cult classic. That game was crazy.
It's still going. I'm trying to get back into it, but I mean,
that's cool that it's still going.
Yeah.
Dude, I know someone that has a tattoo, a Destiny tattoo.
What of?
Maybe it's the logo and then like some quote. It's pretty hardcore, dude. It's pretty hardcore.
That's intense. Yeah,
it's intense, dude. But back to my potentially new favorite game of all time. So this game, like I'm saying, Chris, number one, if you should somehow get your hands on a physical copy and try it, because I'd love to. We should make a challenge. I could raise money to like have a cash reward for you to at least beat one boss or something. That would be hilarious. And I'll send you a capture card to stream it. Like we'll go that far. We will go that far. Because anyways, this is an incredible game, but it took me, I'd say there was a point at like 7.5 hours where I was like, I don't know if I can finish this. I was like, I don't know if this is right for me. 7.5 hours, I was like, this could be too hard. Like, this is fucking insane. At 7.5 hours, I wasn't at any bosses yet. I was getting brutally murdered over and over again by like a pretty regular ass mob. Like he was the leader of this encampment. And so it was a little stronger than all the other fucking Larrys, but it wasn't a boss. It was just like a stronger mob. And
That's wild.
At 7.5 hours, I was just like, this is thought.
Like 7.5 hours, like straight or like playtime?
No, like playtime total. Like
okay, I'm like, dude. First off, you couldn't beat it because you needed a break. Never mind.
Yeah, no, I was just chipping away at it because I don't have. Gosh, I wish I had. That'd be
7.5 hours.
Just a game straight. That doesn't happen these days. But so I got there. I was like, I don't know. I go to sleep. I wake up the next day. I get back at it. I beat it quickly somehow. Like I do it. And then it just starts snowballing. Like I beat one thing and then I beat another thing. And then I finally get my first boss down. And the first boss, incredible feeling. Like the cool thing about this game is it's open world. So you can do it in whatever order you want. Like there's no specific order of what you got to do. Like you can really do whatever the fuck you want. And so I decided I was going to take down this tree sentinel boss and I was like, fuck it, let's do this. And it took me, I think maybe 15 or 20 tries.
Damn.
But like I learned his movement pattern, and it's all about like learning the boss's movement and like learning how to react to that and like what strategy you're going to use to try and counter it, because there's so many different strategies you can use. You can play this game a million different ways, which I think is really cool. They did such a good job at designing like the combat system and just the way the game works, I guess. I mean, without giving so I beat that boss and it just felt incredible. And then I beat another boss and that was at the 10-hour mark. That was this big fucking dragon thing. And that was, bro, I was shaking like this at the end of it, just like dropping the controller. Like I had no health left. I had like a smidgen of health left, used all my shit. I was like, that was insane. And after that, fully hooked, like 100% addicted. Every second I'm away from this game, I'm like, I'm thinking about it. Like after
It's
that moment,
crazy.
it was insane. Like it made it, what it does, like what the game does is it is so brutally hard, but at the
That it's so
same time,
rewarding. Yeah.
it's so rewarding and it's so like doable. Like it shows you, I don't know how it does it so well, but like it shows you it's possible, like to do this if you just are a little bit better, maybe a little bit stronger, maybe you work on your, maybe you level up and grind like outside near the trolls or whatever, and you kill a bunch of trolls and get stronger, and then you go tackle it. Maybe you like think about a different strategy you want to use. Like it makes you, it just lets you know it's
It's a
possible.
strategy game at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, 100%, it's a strategy game, and it can be played however you want it. Like you could be a wizard, you could be a fucking, like I'm playing as absolute glass cannon. Like I'm playing the confessor class, and I'm using this huge two-handed sword, like super high strength build, just a little bit of magic. My HP isn't that much, but I'm just like focused on doing a ton of damage and like nailing the moves that I have to do to like avoid these crazy bosses. And it's super cool. Like, and there's so many different ways to play it. So like I already have like ideas of what I want to do another playthrough. It's like it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, it's so crazy. The map is insane. T, have you played Breath of the Wild?
No.
No.
I just finished Arceus though, so I know like how big like those maps are.
Yeah, and Arceus was decent. It was
Yeah, like Breath of the Wild has
sizable.
one of the biggest maps in
Exactly.
gaming history, right?
I would think so. It's huge. Breath of the
It's
Wild is
huge because like
massive.
I think second to that was Skyrim, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, or something like
Skyrim's crazy.
that.
And this game kind of reminds me of Skyrim with like the exploration sense. Like you're just like walking through the woods and you fucking see a huge troll or you see a dungeon that you can go into and you're like, whoa, I had no idea this would be here, like type shit. And it's really cool in that sense too. Like the exploration is insane. Oh, and I mean, the best thing about this, one of the best things about this game is like the community involvement, and just in the game you can leave notes for other players like on the ground.
That's
That's
cool.
cool.
So, and both because they can troll you or they can help you. Like they literally can say like danger up ahead. Like they can leave a note, this is danger up ahead, and you can like you just like Reddit or something, you can upvote it or downvote it in the game. This is in the game, like in the world. This stuff shows up on the world as notes, and you can read it. And like some people will say like treasure ahead later, like, and they'll give you a hint, which is pretty cool. Like don't tell you directly, but they'll be like try up or try west, or, and these are notes by players that are also
That's
in the
super
game,
cool.
and it's all connected in the world. And even going beyond that, I have never felt like, dude, I have people now that like people know I'm playing the game and I know other people playing the game, like I'm sending people screenshots, they're sending me screenshots of shit like, did you find this sword yet? Like did you do this yet? Like check here on the map. Like I think it's so cool that there's so much, and like you can you can find something that someone has never found. I think that's still possible. Like it's like because it's new too, but also because it's so big and so insane. The level design, apparently they've been working on this game for 10 years.
That wouldn't surprise me.
So
Because I don't know if you like just jumping back to Destiny for a second,
Yeah.
but like you remember like I remember jumping into like first day raids and like no
Yeah.
one knew how to do it, right?
Right.
And then you jump back in 2 weeks later with like a new fire team, and these guys are taking you like underneath, vault of glass, and I'm like,
It's like-
where are we going? And you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, just like don't fall. We're going like right in here, and you're like, where are we going? And there's like a whole new world underneath
Yeah.
the vault, and it's like, who jumped off and landed there by accident,
And then
and
figured
it
it
just
out.
became like
The
the new
meta.
way to run the
Yeah.
raid.
Yeah. It's
You know what I
crazy,
mean?
dude.
Like, oh, we can skip that whole first
Yeah.
chapter. Like, we don't even need to do that. We'll just pop
Yeah.
out on top. And it's like,
yeah. Yeah.
who
Shit like that.
fell down here? And like, you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
that's crazy. That like
yeah. That reminds me of
it's
stuff in, like,
purposely put there by accident for someone
Yeah.
to find, and it just becomes the new meta.
that is, I mean, there's so many beautiful things like that in the Elden Ring, like purposely put there by accident. Like, and so like you have the movement's really good too. So you have a horse and you can double jump and stuff. So you can really like find places and like get in places that maybe they didn't even imagine you would do. But to their credit, they go out of their fucking way to hide shit and like make it you like just the craziest shit. Like you like, there's no way this leads to an item right here. Like I'm shimmying across a wall, like over a huge cliff, like jumping down with my horse, like the weirdest motions trying to find something, and then boom, like an item, and you're like, holy fuck, no way, this is hidden here. Like so much crazy hidden shit. The bosses are so good. The music is insane. I mean, the sense of achievement is just like unlike any other game I played. Like I would say Hollow Knight is similar. That's like the closest game I played to one of these games. I don't know if you've ever played Hollow Knight, the indie game on.
I've played it. It was the first game I played on stream actually. Like
Fuck yeah.
that's how I kicked it off. That was with
Yeah.
Hollow Knight. So
Do you like that game?
I love it.
Yeah.
Like I
So
played
good.
it. I played it again on stream specifically because like I was like, it's a game I know,
Yeah.
so I can talk my way through it. It won't take me nearly as long to play it the second time through.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
And I
'cause
think
you're
that
not,
it's
like,
just like it's an
exploring, but-
enjoyable game that I feel like viewers will enjoy.
Yeah.
Just because it's visually appealing, the music's really good.
Yeah.
Like it draws you in. And like
100%.
since streaming it, I think I've watched like 6 or 7 people who were watching me play it now play that game.
Hell
So it's
Awesome.
crazy. It's also, I don't know if it's still on sale, but it was on sale on
I
Switch
saw that, yeah,
for
like
50% off.
$7.99
So
or something.
yeah,
That's
for 50% off.
insane.
So
It's one of the best
this is coming out
games.
on Monday. Check
And
the Switch
Silk
store
Song
and
is
it
coming
might
out
be
too, so hopefully soon too, like the
soon.
update.
Well, they said February 2022 and it's now March. So
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That game was kind of similar in the sense that like some of those bosses are hard. Like some of like that game is difficult in some aspects. And
I would say like like difficult and hard go in the same boat for me. I would say
Yeah.
Hollow Knight is challenging. It's not hard. It's not a hard game.
Yeah.
It's challenging, but it like fuck, is it ever rewarding when you beat those bosses?
exactly. So maybe that's the same. It's challenging, but maybe not hard because
When I think of challenging, I think of like a puzzle game.
It is,
but in a
game.
way, these are puzzle games because you got
like Hollow Knight's a Castlevania, like it's a
Yeah.
Metrovania game,
yeah.
right? So it's all like it's a platformer, but like
Okay.
it's very much like you need to progress to X point and then you
Right.
need to go back in order to
Ah.
like progress further. So
yeah.
it's like, yeah, like you'll get to certain points in the game, and like Chris, if you haven't played it, like I highly recommend you check out Hollow Knight. It's totally worth it, and if it's on sale for $7, like grab it. But
Yeah.
it's like you get to a certain point and like like I'm supposed to go here.
Yeah.
You can't, right? And now you're like, okay, well, how do I do the thing that gets me here? And then you're just like wandering. And the first time you play it, it is very much a wanderer until you figure it out. Like I tried I played it on PS4 the first time around and got it like on PSN Plus or whatever for free. So it came with all the DLC. So it's like just a shit ton of content. And I remember trying to like play as much of that as I could without needing a walkthrough for it.
Yeah.
And like you just get to a point where you're like, okay, like who knows?
Yeah. How do I figure this out? I
On
remember doing the
YouTube.
same thing.
And and then you pull up the video and it's like the simplest thing. It's like, oh yeah, you want to go here? And like you just want to like hop up top. And it's like, fuck you. Come on. Like I was there. I was literally right there.
I hate that.
You know, you just
go
like
back
you,
and
you didn't get high enough on the
you missed
on
it
the
by
thing.
like whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing, dude. So I think that's why I kind of compare them. They're similar in the sense that they're very exploration based and like you're rewarded for your exploring. I think that's why I feel how they're similar. Like you're very rewarded for just going off the beaten path and like really checking out fucking everything. And then also the sense that it is a puzzle game with the boss fights. Like the boss fights, they're extremely punishing if you fuck up. Like if you make a wrong move in some of these, like you're dead like so fast, bro. So this one boss that I spent a little bit of time, I haven't beaten yet, but his attacks are so quick that like if you don't dodge at the right time or counter at the right time, you're fucking dead. Like it's just, that's how punishing it is. But some like it is fun though. Like just because I know like when you can do a little bit more damage each time, you get a little bit closer, you're like, I can fucking do this.
Now, when you die, do you respawn at the boss, like ready to go again?
I think that is the other thing that is done so well. Death really isn't that punishing. Like dying in these games isn't the end of the world. You do lose your runes, but they're there where you died and you can get all of them back. So your runes is your currency to like
Okay.
by
Okay.
levels.
So yeah,
to
like
buy
similar to
items.
Hollow Knight, like you just got to get back there.
Exactly. You just got to get
Yeah.
back there. And there's really no other punishment for dying. That's it. There's no
They
like
probably knew
armor
you were gonna die a
degradation.
fuck ton.
Yeah, well, that's the
They
point. Like
they had to give you a reason to keep coming back. If you die and you respawn all the way back, you lose all your
It'd be
items.
too
Or
shitty.
you're like, screw this.
and that's why Hollow Knight works too. It's the same exact thing. It's
Same
like
exact thing.
quick
Get back there.
respawns and right back to like what you were trying to do. It is like a little bit of a, I don't know, not setback, but like depending on where you are and
Yeah, it depends where you're at, right? Like
Yeah,
if
it
you
depends
if
where
you didn't
you
hit a
at, I
bench or
guess.
save points and
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, like where's the last
I'm
place I
fucking
hit?
miles
And it's
away.
like you're across the map. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
we're not making it back here.
But I think they do a good job balancing it, both games.
That's
So
awesome. That's crazy. I might have to check it out.
I've never heard you talk about a game like that, like this intense.
What are you
just,
playing
like,
it on?
Into
I'm playing
it.
it on, okay, that's a good point. I'm playing it on PC
With a
an
controller.
Xbox controller. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think like if you have a PC, that's the way to play. Some people are playing mouse and keyboard. That sounds psychotic. I don't know how that would work.
See,
It's
I'm very like new to the PC game, right?
Yeah.
Like I bought my computer in November,
Yeah.
but like I've wanted to get into the PC space for a while.
I've been doing it since I was
But, like,
12 years old. Imagine that.
I've wanted to teach myself how to play mouse and key, right? Because it's just like, okay, like
Just depends
everyone
what
raves
game.
about how playing first person shooters, mouse and key
That's
is like
it.
night and day from
That's
controller.
it. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but then like I've only ever played on controller, like since forever, right? So like
Right.
that's like it's a massive learning curve, and people
Yeah.
don't really
Yeah.
like they don't talk about it enough. I don't think. Like,
You're
oh, yeah,
right.
like it's easy, right? Like just like you just have to exclusively play mouse and keyboard, and you'll figure it out. And I'm like, the difference though is that I think you need to pick up a new game and play that from the beginning and learn how to play a mouse keyboard, and not pick up a game that you've played on controller and try to make that switch. Because like Call of Duty, Destiny, all these games, I've only ever played religiously on controller, and now I'm like, I am trash on mouse and keyboard. But then like I was playing with a buddy, we were playing Destiny 2 last week, and I'm like, this is brutal. I'm like, let me grab my PS4 controller, and like night and day. He's like, what did you do? I'm like, literally, I just picked up a controller. We're good now. Like, let's go. Like, we
I don't think that's a problem, because I think too many people also, in that same vein, too many people also put too much emphasis on the mouse and keyboard being the benefit of
being on PC.
Exactly. Like, there's so much more. It's not just that. Like, having a PC means I can play at unlocked frame rates. I can play at, incredible details that aren't achievable on a console. Like, I can play at 4K if I wanted to. I could play at like resolutions that aren't supported by consoles. I can have a YouTube browser in the background. Like, I could fucking do so. And that's just to say, like, I enjoy so many PC games with a controller. Like, and like I said, I've literally been a quote unquote PC gamer since I've been like 11, 12 years old. I asked for a little bit like extra money to build a computer I was in 6th grade. And like, I literally will never look back. I have consoles, of course. I like retro gaming. Like, I also did that shit, but like PC gaming is top tier. Though here's we're getting very off topic, but this is a good off topic. I was having this discussion with my friend today. I say all of this while also fully thinking, there has never been a better time to buy a console. And here's why I think that. The value that an Xbox Series S or even the X has, and maybe even a PS5 if you can get it for MSRP, the value that they can provide. And I'll be specific. So we'll use a specific game that everyone knows. Fortnite, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
An Xbox Series S can run Fortnite at 120 frames per second at 1080p for $300.
Yeah.
There is no gaming PC that can do that. There is zero gaming PC that can do that. Like, and so,
I mean, you could argue it, but like, who's trying to track down a 3090 right now? You know what I mean?
No, but that's not. But you can't even. I don't think you could do that with a budget card that you found from last year. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, you couldn't just like, unless you're running top tier, like you couldn't. Like it would cost you
That's what I'm saying.
thousands and
PC
Yes, but then you're
thousands.
gaming
spending that much
so
Yeah,
versus
exactly.
a $300
Yeah,
Xbox.
no, I think we're on the same page. PC
Yeah.
gaming is so it's never been more expensive. So,
Yeah.
but it's also never been more popular, which I was having this discussion with my friend. It's fucking interesting. Like the Series S is so affordable, so good. Like I don't think they marketed it well enough. Like it is an absolute PC killer, and it's $300. Like it's such, and I know this because I've actually used it. My brother has one. And like I compared a fucking $2,500 PC, and like, yeah, my PC fucking is awesome. Like I can run insane games, and like it's incredible. But $300 compared to 2,500, it's like, whoa, dude, like holy shit. But
And I feel like
just
it's a lot simpler than PC gaming also. Like to
Oh,
build
absolutely.
if you're
Yeah,
to
it's plug and
build a
play.
PC,
Oh, plug and
ready to
play,
go.
you're
Yeah.
ready to
Yeah.
go. And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just,
I mean,
it just-
PCs can be too, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
bought
can
my
get-
computer pre-built, but
Yeah.
it's pre-built, like built to order almost.
right.
So it's
No,
not
yeah,
like,
no, I know.
they put all the parts in the box and it's like this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like I got it home and like other than plugging everything in, like it's still plug and play.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's 4 or 5 times the price.
Yeah.
So
It's just, it was just an interesting discussion we had, like a little thought. It was like a shower thought type of situation. I was like,
yeah,
it's interesting that this is happening right now. Like PC gaming is more popular than ever. It's more expensive than ever. It's more inaccessible than ever. And yet an Xbox Series S, you can get them in stores right now, and they're $300, and they're not selling out everywhere. Like I
No.
don't get it. And the craziest part about it, it has keyboard and mouse support. You can plug a keyboard and mouse right into your Xbox and play Fortnite with a keyboard and mouse on 120 frames on a 1080p monitor for $300. That's insane. That's never been. That is just such an aside.
I think it's just like it's a conversation that's not happening.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, I think that's what it is. It's
starting
not
it
so
here.
much that it.
Starting
Yeah,
it
we're starting here. You heard it here first.
This was an
folks. It's,
aside,
on
but
the
it was
Cards
an
and Partridges
important
podcast.
one. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, I paid what all in my monitors, my computer, everything, like 34
Yeah.
Canadian though, like 3,400 Canadian for mine. So probably around the same, like $2,700 USD for.
And that
for
I
two
wasn't
monitors.
including monitors with that price.
Yeah.
And I honestly probably have spent more on it. I'm not gonna lie. I said 2,500 is a rough estimate, but I'm looking at it now and who the fuck knows? It's expensive. Because I upgrade. I
What's that?
upgraded. What's up?
I was like, how often do you update your like put new parts in your PCs just like to upgrade?
Well,
Depends.
yeah.
I put a couple new fans in mine, like one for RGB and two because I only had one fan in it, and I was like, it needs more fans. And then I have like an internal capture card, but like that's it.
Yeah.
It probably needs more RAM, but like I'd say it's very much, and that's probably one of the advantage of PC gaming is that like you can upgrade it without needing to like buy a whole new PC.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, RAM generally comes in sticks of 2. Like you can buy singular sticks of RAM, but it generally comes in sticks of 2. So you can throw another 16 or 32 gigs of RAM for like, 60 to $100 or whatever.
Yeah.
If you wanted more RAM out of a console, like you got to buy the next console.
Yes.
Right. Like if you realize,
not
like,
if it's a Nintendo 64 though.
I mean, that's true too. Gotta get that 64 megs. But like, if you think about it, right? Like the PS4 it's gonna come to a time, probably in the next year, I would say, where like games will no longer run on the PS4 because it like the hardware just can't handle it, right?
Apparently, Warzone is already like not. It's getting there.
No,
like
yeah, but that's not a like a hardware thing. That's just like the game doesn't fit on the console. Like, that's a different story altogether. You know what I mean? But it's like,
yeah.
The PS4 is going to come to a time probably in the next year and a half where like, and we might see it honestly this year with a couple of games. Like Ragnarok is supposed to come out. It's supposed to be PS4, PS5. It might not be. And then Hogwarts Legacy is also supposed to be backwards to PS4 as well. And like those games, if they get pushed back, like we might not see them on the PS4.
It's
right. So then like you're not looking at like, oh, I can just throw new RAM in my PC and I can play it now. It's like, no, like you need a PS5.
Yeah.
Right. Knights of the Old Republic, they're doing the remake for that. PS5 exclusive.
Dude, I gotta get a fucking PS5, bro.
Literally, someone mentioned
like finding one.
Oh, Knights of the Old Republic's coming out remake for PS5, and I was like, that game's gonna cost me $800.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you
bro?
What do you
That's
mean?
the same
And I'm
thing
like,
I did with the
I need a
PS4
PS5.
though. It was like Spider-Man's coming out. Okay, I have to buy that game. Like Spider-Man on like I played so much Spider-Man on PS2
so
and
good.
like those are my favorite games. Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, like such good games. And when I played Spider-Man on the PS4, fucking incredible game.
It's so good.
My roommate in college bought that game like day one, like drop
Yeah.
day. Got it at GameStop. He's like, I'm pumped. Like, I used to play these. Like, let's fucking go. This was when he was like addicted to Fortnite. So he goes out, gets Spider-Man, like pumped by it, gives up in like a night. He's like, this game sucks. I'm going back to Fortnite. And like he didn't pick it up
It's
after
so
that.
good.
Tell him he sucks, bro. That's so lame.
He was
so
just
good.
It wasn't even like it
hooked
was a
on
hard
Fortnite,
game though.
Like sophomore year of college when Fortnite was bumping, like that was his game. And he's like, I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna get Spider-Man. And like gave up after a night.
Lame, dude. And now Spider-Man's in Fortnite right now. If he was still, if he was playing right now, he would see, dude, there's Spidey, and you can go. It's actually kind of sick.
Yeah, and you can like swing around, can't you?
Yeah, it's so much fun. Like the kills are kind of insane that you can get. But Chris, to your question, how often do you, as someone who's had PCs forever, I will tell you, like graphics cards start to show their wear or show their age. I feel like 3 years after their release, and that's like being conservative. That's the word. Like being generous. I think. Like,
what are you running, Ryan?
I have a 3070.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty solid card. Nothing to scoff at these days. What about you?
3070 Ti.
Whoa. Okay.
It was 3,400 Canadian.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
No,
exactly. Well, it's funny. So when and like off topic a little bit, but like when I went in to buy my PC, like I was gonna part it out.
Okay.
Right. I wanted the Lanley 011.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Flux Games. Like,
yeah,
dude's got it wrapped in white. It's gorgeous. And I was like, I want the 011. Like, that's the case they want. I go in and they're like, so what's your plan? I'm like, I'm just looking to put some parts together. And like, I wanted to go in, buy the 011 and fucking leave. That was the plan. That was the plan that day.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, man, like, good luck finding a graphics card.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? I'm like, I hear they're hard to find. He's like, no, like they come into the store and they're gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
did you go to a Micro Center or something?
I went to it's called Memory Express up here, but same concept. Yeah. And he's like, honestly, like take a look at the pre-builts. It's gonna come with everything you need. You're not gonna have to source anything out. It's gonna work out of the box. And I was like, fuck, okay. So I took a look. We were chatting. And he's like, honestly, man, like this is gonna be the best way you find a computer. And I'm like, fuck,
he's not wrong in this period.
And he's like, he's not wrong. The guy, like, this is his job. He does this all day. He's not trying to scam me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
I'll be back in a week. Let's just do it. So
but you got a dope computer.
Yeah, it's sick. Like it does everything I need. I've showed people the spec. The only thing some people are like, oh, you went, AMD versus Ryzen, and I'm just like, get out my DMs. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I don't think you went. You did nothing. You did nothing wrong.
It's a solid build for what I paid for.
It'll be good for a couple stumbled basically across a 3070. Like.
You were on the hunt for one though, weren't you? For
I was for the
go to the
longest
store and
time.
Somebody returned it or something.
That we got for a mining rig. So I am part of the problem too. We do also have a mining rig. So I don't want to talk too much about that, but because I'll get hate. I'll get a lot of hate. But anyways, I was just like I put on a random because Cyberpunk 2077 was kicking my PC's ass. I was like, I want to play this game maxed out, and I just couldn't. I had a 2070 before, and it was good. It was really good, but it wasn't great for the new. So I put on a call on Instagram and like nothing happened for like a couple months. And then out of the blue, I get a DM and was like, hey, like, are you still looking for a 3070? Like my cousin got one and they're an extra one. And it was like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was kind of a shady story. And I was a little skeptical because obviously it's a lot of money, but it was not only a lot of money, but it was also like only like $50 over retail, where these were like going
like double for a while.
Basically double, like no, 100% double. I could have sold it the next day for double what I paid.
Too good to be true.
I thought it was, so I paid PayPal goods and services. It is the 3070 that is sitting in my computer right now. So like, I don't know, dude. That just stars the line for that one. And but yeah, whatever, dude. Enough about PC gaming. Let's get back on topic. We were talking about Elden Ring, but enough about that. Oh, we'll finish that off by saying could be my GOAT, the greatest of all time. Currently, The Witcher 3 is, And it's funny because these games are similar, but also very different. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The Witcher 3 has a gripping story. And that's, if I had to give Elden Ring a criticism right off the bat, I want to say the story isn't as good, or maybe
Like
it's
captivating good, or it's just like not good.
I would say captivating good. It's not like, or just not even really there, or like it's there, but like not like The Witcher 3 is a narrative, bro. It's like if you opened up a storybook.
Well, it's a
and
book though, right? Like that's
Yeah, and
that's
that's-
probably
that's-
the difference, right? Is that like Elden Ring is
Thanks,
not
City,
a
with
book,
fucking-
and they've
thanks, City, with a fucking fact.
yeah, with a
Well, it
fact
is-
check here, like
it is
you
a
know, like
book,
Elden Ring
bro.
doesn't.
If you
have
open up a storybook, well, it is a
It
book.
is a book.
it is a book, yeah. So it's like
Yeah,
Elden
you're
Ring doesn't
right.
have that like I don't know, like that physical narrative, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like The Witcher is a book series,
Yeah,
and like
and
now there's the show, so like
Right.
you can step into The Witcher,
Yeah.
you know, 5 years in and like
Yeah.
enjoy it because now there's like some actual context there. Whereas like
Right.
Elden Ring, if you're not paying attention to what's going on,
Yeah.
you're like the story sucks. It's like,
It's
are you actually reading what's going
yeah,
on?
no, and that's the thing. I didn't want to go. It's not like the story sucks, and it is there, and there are. I want to say the side quests are beautifully done. Like there's no hand holding. Like you have to listen to what the people say, and you have to do it and remember to do it. It's not like,
See, those aren't my games.
well, that's
I
what I'm saying,
love
Chris. You would
level to
not,
level, easy shit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You would last 15 minutes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Let's start it. Let's do it.
If I
right
can't
now.
play,
Let's make it
Zelda,
official.
I can't play Elden Ring.
Oh,
Yeah, but which
zero
Zelda?
chance.
Because
And
like
Any.
some of those Zelda games are like Zelda. I pulled it out earlier, but like original Zelda, like the Legend
on
of
the
Zelda for the
it's
NES
impossible.
is okay. That game came with a guidebook for a reason,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
right? Like
but,
for a
like,
reason.
you
Like
can
it's not
do-
a game that's meant to be beat without a guide. No,
Have
no,
you tried
like,
playing like Twilight Princess on the GameCube?
No, I've got it. I
You
should.
should give it a try. That's a great game and very approachable, I think, for a first.
I hear
Zelda.
Link's Awakening or Zelda DX, one of the two, Link's Awakening or DX on Game Boy.
It's a fantastic game
it's
too.
fascinating. It's a super game. I would play it on Switch if you're gonna play
Exactly.
it. Though. Like
There's
like,
no reason to play the old one.
Yeah, don't play it on a Game Boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's virtually
a
the same
great
game. I would play it on the Switch
But
if
it
you're
is
gonna play Link's
exactly.
Awakening.
I think that is 100% accurate advice right there. And that's another approachable Zelda game. But this is here we go. Perfect segue. I've been wanting to segue back on track, and we found it.
Look at us.
How much is difficulty a factor in how you enjoy a game? Chris, it sounds like difficulty is a huge factor.
Yes.
Factor
in
for
your
you.
game enjoying.
Dude, I
What-
love
Like
just
what's
put
so,
a
like,
game in
here,
and go.
yeah, like what's like a hard game for you?
Yeah.
Chris.
So Zelda,
Zelda.
it sounds like Zelda.
Like
is hard.
RPGs
Why
in
is
general.
Zelda hard.
It's the whole open world wandering aspect for me. Like the most open world wandering I want to get is like Pokemon.
I wouldn't say
But,
that's
like-
open world though. That's like those are linear RPGs.
That's what I'm saying. That's to the extent I want to go.
So like a
Like,
town,
okay.
a town's
Yes.
worth. Like the
Yes.
most you have to search for something is like in a small
is like your 64 by 64 square.
Yes.
grid.
Yes.
Like
I love to
Cerulean
just
City.
put
So-
in and go, whether that be sports games, Wii Sports, Mario's, Kirby's. I love the whole Yoshi story where you just go level to level, Donkey Kong Country
like,
stuff.
Okay, so I can agree with that to a degree because I like I'm a platformer through and through. Like I love
Yeah,
various
I love
I
platformers,
don't
too.
like 3D platformers. They're weird to me. Like when and like Ryan, we're gonna get controversial for a second. I'm not a fan of Mario 64
I love
Um,
Mario 64
for
but
the
I
reason that
understand.
like I'm like very like Super Mario Bros for NES, Super Mario World for
I will
Super
say
Nintendo.
those play
then, like,
so much
it's,
better
like-
than Super Mario 64.
Yeah, so then like you get into like this 3D space and I'm like I don't like it.
It really
The
doesn't
game,
make
it
sense.
plays different. It's not the
So
same
did you
game.
not like Odyssey?
I hated Odyssey.
That's
I
a hot
hated it.
take. I think
I
Odyssey is
hated
a
it.
great game, but I understand
Like it's a
what
good
you're
game, but
saying.
like for that, like I don't like 3D platformers because like
Now,
I'm
do you
very
think that's
like
hard? Do you think that's
I wouldn't say they're
difficult to
hard.
you?
It's just
Or
like
is
it's
that,
like they're
that's
just
just like shitty.
Preference?
I don't know how to describe it. It's just
Yeah.
like I'm so like Super Mario. Actually, backtracking. Super Mario World was the first game that I played on stream. Hollow Knight was the first game I played as an affiliate.
Okay.
But like I made Super Mario World like look easy. It is not a difficult game. It's not hard. Like if
Yeah.
you've played that game, like it's left and right. It's up and down. It's very straightforward.
Man, some of
I
those
made
underwater
that game
levels.
look easy. Like, and I mean like easy. Like people are like, how are you just like whipping through this game?
Yeah.
I'm like, because it's like for a long time growing up, it was the only game I played. So I got real good at it.
Yeah.
Like real good at it. You know what I mean? So like now I'm like I beat that plane on the like to and from flight to Vegas.
Yeah.
Like
that's sick.
It's a 3-hour flight from Winnipeg. You know what I mean? Like I like they're half the game, back the other half, 100% done. So like 5-6 hours, the game's done.
Awesome.
I don't know. Very linear though. I like platformers. The whole 3D thing is weird. But then when you get into like 3D RPGs, like to me, like they need to be 3-dimensional. That's how you get that storytelling aspect.
Have you ever played Celeste?
No, I watched a couple people stream it though, and they're like, I've watched people who like don't do platformers play it, and there's like they've been
that's another challenge.
They're getting into it, but like it's I've watched them and they're challenging. But I've watched some people that like I don't know that I've just been like rated into streams or whatever, and like watch them struggle on the same level for like an hour.
Yeah, no, that was a game that definitely challenge. Another one of those challenging, you can do it, very rewarding when it happens type games. Like, and I beat that game and I felt an incredible sense of achievement afterwards. That game was so good. Really a bit of a tug on the heartstrings too. Like that story was kind of beautiful. You should check it out if you like.
It's on the list. It's definitely on the wish list.
Yeah, if you like hard platformers with good story, which is
like I won't play Cuphead because like I've heard Cuphead is like
Cuphead's
one of those games is like
I think I watched Ryan play Cuphead at one point.
Cuphead's dope. Cuphead you can play. I like playing it on my CRT too because it fits that aesthetic so perfect. Like that's one of the games I'll play on the CRT, even though it's a modern game. It looks so good.
But it's formatted for 4:3, isn't it?
You can, but it's naturally no. But you can. It supports it. But for me, difficulty for the longest, I will say difficulty usually is kind of a factor for me. I'll be honest and say I'm kind of like Chris to some degree. I'll play a Zelda game and I'll fucking do it. Yeah. But like I enjoy when I played The Witcher, for instance, I played it on easy. And like I play a lot of games on the easier difficulty just because
I'll agree with that.
Because I'm in it for the story. I'm really like a huge story guy, and like I love knowing the story. And that's why honestly Elden Ring is such a departure from kind of what I am usually. I will say it is a huge departure from my usual like way to play games, in the sense of like I just put it on easy and just enjoy the story and swing and the people are dead and then it's all good. Like it doesn't take a lot of focus or anything. But I guess after like there are some games that I really do appreciate the difficulty. And I think games just have to do a good job at being difficult, like, where like some games are just unnecessarily difficult and just make you stupid frustrated or like really want to give up or just not play. Like, there are some games that do it so right. And
well, honestly, that's that fine line between challenging and difficult, or challenging and hard, right? Is like, is it hard or is it challenging? Because those like to me, those are two.
Challenging is fun.
Yeah, challenging is fun and it's rewarding. Whereas like a game that's hard, right, is just like it's not fun. It's just like it's hard for no reason.
Like bullet storm shooters are hard, bro. Like where they're just fucking crazy bullets
raining down on you.
You have to like move your thing. I enjoy those, like, but they're so hard. Like to be good at those games, you have to be a psychopath, and that's all good. But I just can't do it. So,
now, would you say coming into like a game like Fortnite as a new player in 2022, would you say that's hard?
No. Fortnite has a learning curve.
There's a learning. It's a different type of game.
That's true. Exactly. Fortnite's not hard in any tradition. Fortnite's as easy as you want it to be, right? Like Fortnite's, but to be competitive, it's hard as fuck. But not
that's what
not
I'm saying,
hard
like,
as fuck.
Where you're not getting shit on every game.
No, because if it's skill-based matchmaking. You know what I mean? So if you're bad, you're gonna be placed with bad people all the time, and that's cool. Like if that's how you want to play the game, and that's all good. But like if you're playing on a more competitive level and you're playing with people that can build, and this is someone who myself, I've been playing Fortnite since it's been in beta, like, and now I'm decent at the game. Like the people I go up against are fucking crazy. Like they're so good. Like some of these kids are literal 7-year-old sweats that just have nothing else to do but just grind Fortnite and are so good. They like it's insane. So some games just have a really steep learning curve. I think that's where I was going with it. Some games are a very linear learning curve, or just are flat, if you will. And then some games, the more time you put in, the better you get. And like those are kind of the games I really like in terms of like challenging difficulty wise. It's more like a time in, time out type situation.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like games that you have to learn how to play the game.
Yeah, where you like mastering stuff in the game is like rewarding.
Is rewarding enough, that it's not like I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think...
first person shooters are like, for me, like to be good at FPS games, like you've got to put time in to like be good at first person shooters. Like that's a whole other thing, right?
Yeah, that was me like, with Black Ops 2.
Oh yeah,
yeah, but then like for me, like I'm not great at first person shooters, but you throw me in gun game on Black Ops 2 and like you're getting wrecked. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that game is so classic.
Like that's just like I can do that. It's nine weapons. I know, like you know what I mean? I know what's going on, versus like I gotta level up weapons. I need to know what guns are good and what guns are bad and what to shoot and what, all this stuff. And I'm like, nah, same 9 weapons every single time.
Preferred one in the chamber.
You know what I mean? And then we're going. So it's, I don't know. I would say, does difficulty play a role in what games I'm gonna play? To a degree. Like if I know that a game is gonna be like hard, like right out of the gate, like Cuphead, all I've ever heard is that game is hard. Not as challenging. Cuphead is hard. So I'm like, I'm good. Like I don't need to buy it, pay the 40, 50, whatever bucks it is.
It's cheap,
and then just like be mad about it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I would say Cuphead is similarly challenging to some of the games we're talking about. Like Hollow Knight.
I've heard it compared to Hollow Knight. I was just gonna say, like it is kind of Hollow Knight. It is it's unlike some of those games because there's like definitive levels, right? There's like, it's not a world. It's like a Mario where you're on a map and you go on a circle and then you're in this circle and whatever. Yeah. So it's different in that way, but the fighting the platforming is good, and then the fight, I haven't gotten into Cuphead in a while. It is hard, bro. It's difficult. I'm gonna definitely play that game again. It's a lot of fun, and the music is sick. The music is so good. It's like all old timey. Obviously, the graphics are really good, but yeah, I think for me, difficulty plays a part. But like you said, T, it's not everything, and there are ways that I think in some cases it's almost a draw for me. Like knowing that a game is difficult or challenging but rewarding, that's cool. Like I like that type of game where and being able to be encouraged by friends on the internet of like playing Elden Ring, like people say, oh, like crazy you killed that, or like whatever. It's so fun to the encouragement. I feel that
all the gaming or this game so far has just been so cool. Like,
well, it's like have you ever played Lion King on Super Nintendo?
That game's so hard.
That's the difference. You know what I mean?
I've heard that and Aladdin.
Like both of those games.
Aladdin I beat somehow.
Yeah, Aladdin, like there's a couple levels in Aladdin, but I think like Aladdin has like a hill to it, right? Where it's like you get over this hill and it's very like just steep, right? Like level 1's easy, level 2 a little bit harder, level 3 is like, okay, we're up here now, and then like you come back down, right? Like you get to, what is it, like the Cave of Wonders level in Aladdin, and then like the game's just like get fucked. Yeah. Right. Whereas like Lion King like kicks you off right at the beginning.
I was just gonna say level 2 is pretty hard.
Is just like
level 2 is already pretty hard.
So I beat that game once with save states.
Yeah, that's one way to do it with those old harder games. Is save states make it at least a little bit easier and a little bit more
and then but like I don't like, have you ever made it past like the second level?
Lion King, I've made it to maybe like the 3rd level. Definitely not
once you get past.
How many levels are there?
Like 9.
Yeah,
but I feel like they got to make it difficult, because if you're paying that much for just a 9-level game, you don't want to be able to zip right through.
But you eventually get to a point in the Lion King games, like that game, the levels get longer. Like it's like you're playing the movie. Like the levels do eventually get longer, but like that second level in that game will make you never want to play a Super Nintendo game ever again.
Yeah,
like it's hard.
It sucks.
I want to throw a Super Nintendo controller.
I don't have Lion King.
Dude, I'll ship it down there because I don't.
It's so beautiful, dude. That game design is so sick though. Like the pixel art in that's what I mean. The pixel art in Lion King is so beautiful. I'm like, whoa.
They're both Virgin games too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy.
It plays a part. It plays a part, but not the biggest part. And sometimes it's even a draw. There you go. That sums up the difficulty conversation pretty
I don't know
nicely.
if we've ever talked about a segment for damn near an hour.
Has it really been damn near an hour for that Elden Ring difficulty? I guess it has. Look at that.
Yeah, right about an hour.
Well, we can continue with Chris. Why don't you ask the question that you stated the question before so beautifully?
Yeah. No, like you guys obviously, I would hope, follow Ryan, aka OG Retro, but some of you may not know who Peg City is. And looking at his feed and just the way he implements, both of you guys implementing photography with either retro gaming or current gaming, like why do you think those two hobbies can go so well together or don't go so well together? And what are your what are your favorite parts about combining the two?
I mean, I'll go first on this one. So
yeah.
when I started the Peg City 8-bit account, it was like I was posting gaming stuff on whether it be finds or what have you, like on my like personal account, and it just like wasn't getting love, right? So I'm like there has to be a community surrounding these hobbies, right? Like there's no way that there's just like me in Canada and there's just like no one out there who's also into retro gaming, right?
Yeah.
So started the Peg City 8-bit account, and like I've scrolled through like my feed to like the beginning, and like those pictures were not like in any way, shape, or form like as aesthetically pleasing as they are today. It was very much just like, hey, I found like a bunch of games at the flea market, like here's some shit. I think that it's gotten more and more aesthetic because I'm following guys like OG and J-Boy Mods and BB Retro and Stove Loney and all these guys who like have been doing, like they're on the photography side, who have now integrated gaming into that hobby. But it's like, how can you make tech look aesthetic, right? How can you bring out the beauty in tech? And I think like maybe that's where that comes from, is like bleeding those two together, is not necessarily photography and gaming, but like the beauty in gaming. Because like some of these consoles, like if you actually like take the time to look at them, like they are very like put together, beautifully designed consoles. Like the PS5, aside from its size, is a beautiful console.
I agree.
It just needs to be like a lot. It just needs to be like 70% smaller.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't know if you guys have seen one in person. It's a big console. I've seen some next to TVs and like they're almost as big as some people's TVs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm waiting for a slim version that's just like, yeah, we shrunk it
that
down.
Would be cool.
70%, and I'm like, yeah, that and then it'll be digital only or whatever. Yeah. But it's for me, it started as like I just wanted to share my love for retro gaming with like-minded individuals, and just over time, it's just like I took photography in high school and I was fairly good at it. So I picked up the camera again, stole it back from my dad, and I was just I'm gonna just get better at it. So for a while it was just use the camera, like the phone, and just point and shoot, before work, snap something in the game room and just post it. And then as I watched accounts grow and people get more aesthetic with their pictures and take nicer pictures, higher quality pictures, it just became just like the natural thing to do at that point. And then just like I would say in the last year and a half ish, like it's just like I've just continued to ramp that up, and then now here we are where I'm doing crazy partnerships with crazy brands and other creators and stuff, where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna use your photos, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, you have the bigger following, you sure you don't want to use your stuff? And they're like, nah, like we'll use your stuff because your stuff looks nicer. And I'm just like, okay, sure, whatever you want to do. So yeah, it's been a crazy ride, but I would say, yeah, it's more, I want to take like pictures that people want to hang on their walls and shit, is because it's an art form. Like photography is an art form, gaming can be, but it's like, what do you do outside of just take pictures? Okay, well, I build retro consoles, I mod Game Boys, so I want to take pictures of those Game Boys before they go to their forever homes. So how aesthetic can I make those photos look? I've had posters printed and sent posters to people. I did a giveaway a couple of months ago, where it was just like, you can pick any picture on my feed, any picture, I'll print it as a 16:20 print and send it down south for you. And I've worked with a couple brands who are like, yeah, like I want a 16:20 print of X picture to hang up in my in my space. And I'm like, yeah, well, for sure, make that happen. So I've done that a couple times, but you know, to want, like, I think the first time that I had someone ask for a picture that I had posted as like a physical print, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere with this, you
It's
know.
got to be
And
such a good, rewarding feeling.
oh, it feels amazing. Like I had someone in Australia, Natalie the nerd, shout outs to her, actually reached out, and she wanted a canvas print of one of my shots. And like at the time, like I hadn't even posted it yet.
Oh hell yeah.
Right, like she had wanted something similar, and she was like, yeah, like I really like this. I'm like, I also have this one, I haven't posted it yet, but if you want it, we could do that. She's like, yeah, like that's the one. And it's like hung up in her studio.
It's almost like getting recognized in public for like what you do or something like that. Cause like I know
100%.
Ryan and I had gotten a DM. I forget who it was from one time, but some guy was buying Pokemon cards in Walmart, and he like sent me and Ryan a DM. He goes, "Yeah, I was talking to this random guy in Walmart that I was buying in the Pokemon card aisle, and I was telling about how like retro gaming scene on Instagram or whatever, and your name came up, Chris Kuzi, and the guy's like, "Oh my god, I've bought from Kuzi on like Instagram before," and I was like, "What?" So like your thing with like photography, like my thing with like selling games or like hunting for games, it's just like getting the recognition for it. And like people who you never thought would recognize you or appreciate what you do is insane.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think it makes the original hobby so much more fun. Like if you just collect and play games, it can get maybe nonchalant or boring, but having the addition of, oh, I go live and I sell the stuff, or I actually take pictures of the stuff and post it, just and combining the two, like you said, combining the two communities is insane.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I agree with most or all that stuff. For me, it was like I was inspired by, so I have a photography background, like that's what I went to college for. And it's what I did kind of before this. Like I would do prints and like I love taking landscape photos. Like a lot of my work is landscape based and kind of nature based. Like my senior thesis was a project where I actually, this is still something I'm very proud of, and I think it looks so good, like very unique style. It was where I did a series of like macro photos, but macro, they're not really macro. It was like just very zoomed in sections of rapid running water where, and like
Okay.
it's so hard to explain. It's very abstract. It had to do a lot with color and motion. And it's a very cool project, but it's just like, that's my background, and like different, more abstract art and stuff. And then I've always been a huge nerd and always been a huge gamer. And so one day I had been following, I think, Retro Nintendo, I think Modded Marsh, and some other OGs, like some straight OGs on my personal Instagram. And then finally, yeah, the same thing as you. I was kind of just like, why don't I make my own Instagram and like just post my collection pics here? And I was like, it'll just be a way for me to share my collection. Like at the time, my collection was very small. I had like I was collecting Pokemon cards at the time, and I had a couple retro games. Like I had Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Gold, CIB Game Boy, and like maybe that was it. Like I had a modded Wii that I played everything on, like all that retro games and everything. And but yeah, I started there, and I don't know how I'm here, but this is where
I think that's the thing too, right? Is like you start the account and no one ever like expects to like be where they're at.
Yeah.
When they get there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's only like I started my account in what, November of 2019. That sounds right, or November of 2018.
Yeah, I think I was
like not like crazy long ago. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's been 4 years, but like it's definitely
like, I was August
2019.
of 2019 then.
Yeah,
that's insane.
So like it's not like crazy. Like it was before COVID.
Yeah,
but not,
that's it.
Like not much further beyond that. Wow. But like I hit 9,000 followers today. Like that's like
insane growth, bro. Good job.
Like it's mind-boggling to me. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
I totally understand what you mean.
It's the fruit of your hard labor. I mean, your feet alone.
Well, and I mean, it's put into it. Kuzi, I don't know how long you've been following me, but like you need to go through my feed, because like if you had started following me a year
There's
and
an
a half
evolution.
ago.
to
Yeah.
that shit.
There's an evolution to it. I posted on my story even like about a
I
week
saw
ago, not
that,
even.
yeah.
And it's like, here's my feed a year ago. Here's my feed 6
Oh, I
months
saw that.
ago.
Yeah.
And here's my feed right now. Like
Yeah.
even the 6 month growth
That's
is
sick,
like
dude.
is crazy. And people are like, oh, I can, I can see it. And like now it's like a blend of the two. But
That's
like
what I
you've
said.
just, like,
I
stepped
felt like
up.
it looked, yeah, number one, the quality was better, but like it also just looked like you like really found your style kind of thing
Yeah.
in the past couple months or whatever. Where like I'm
Well, and I
gonna
mean,
say
like,
it
I
had
know, like,
something to
there's,
do with the
like-
PC, bro. I'm gonna say it had something to do with the PC. Ever since you got that PC, you're and the desk setup changed you, bro, in a good way.
I mean, it's nice to live in all of those spaces, I think,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm within the like not in the photography community, but I mean, I definitely like pride myself on my photos. But I really like I follow a lot of like the heavy hitters in like the RGB like PC space. And like I think most of 2021, I was like, I want to step into like that world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I just got crowned into royalty RGB, shout out to the fam. But like that has probably like it's the largest community of RGB setups in the world. Like it's crazy, but I follow a lot of those guys and I've followed them for a while, and like there's some crazy setups in there, like tons and tons of inspo. So like I draw all of my PC stuff from those guys, right? And it's like I think my PC photography has still like a long way to go before like it's where like my handheld photography is, but like I've been dialing that in since day one.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like it's been a balance of like, okay, how do I get it to where I want it? Because for a while I was like, okay, I'm gonna shoot everything with my phone for my PC because I can get like that same quality out of it. And I was like, no, we're shooting everything with the same camera. We'll use 2 different lenses, right? Because then I know like everything else is the same. Frames, like the frame size is the same, the quality is the same, the pixels are the same, the mega, all that stuff. It's just like this is shot at 18 millimeters, these are shot at 50. That's it. So yeah, it's been crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that answers it nicely. I think we just do it because I guess we just do it because we like it, and they
just share it, yeah.
And they do go well together in a lot of ways because they're, like you said, they're beautiful. A lot of these things are beautiful devices. When I take photos of like Pokemon cards or something like that, I'm taking photos of other art, really. Like I'm just sharing other art essentially. So like that's kind of a no-brainer. And I like creating content, and I know you like creating content. So it's just like just the idea of creating, like that's why I do it. Just making something that has to do with another hobby of mine. Simply put.
Perfect answer.
Hell yeah. Let's finish it off with a viewer question. This has been a long episode, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. Finish it off with a viewer question. Retro Keegs asks, what are your favorite handhelds or handheld? What's your favorite handheld, and what are your favorite controllers? Guess goes first.
Sure. What do you want to do? Like top 3 of each, or just favorite
No,
one?
just
Favorite
pick
one.
one of each.
Favorite
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, be all end all. You have to choose one.
So for me, like it's tricky, right? Because like it's not. So favorite controller, hands down,
it's not.
like without question, Super Nintendo controller is my favorite
Whoa,
controller.
I didn't expect someone
wow.
to say that.
Yeah, so Super Nintendo controller is my favorite
Why?
controller. I think mostly because like I grew up on Super Nintendo and
you
the
can't
NES,
play
but like
new games with it.
yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
That is true. That is very true.
So like I grew up with the Super Nintendo, played it like, and even like as I got older, like it's the console I would prefer to go back to. But I find like I don't get hand crampy playing Super Nintendo. Like I can play that game for like I can play that console for a long time before like I get crampy. I've got 2 of the 8-bit do controllers for the Super Nintendo, so like I've got those, and then like playing that wirelessly, same thing, connected to your phone, your PC, whatever. Like it's always felt comfy to me. It's just like not a crampy controller, whereas like the NES is like a little bit smaller. I find that like
controller, that makes no sense.
The rough edges, and it's just like it's not
no good way to hold
silly
it.
Out the get-go.
Yeah.
Who thought a square would be
square as rectangle would be comfy.
Rectangle.
So yeah, if I had to pick a favorite controller, Super Nintendo controller. Favorite handheld. So this is interesting because I didn't have one growing up, but the DMG as an adult feels amazing in my hand. Like I love it. And I didn't have one until 2019.
That's interesting.
Right. So like it deranked the Game Boy Color for me.
That's cool.
But yeah, DMG, original Game Boy, favorite handheld.
That's OG, bro. You do have that's sophisticated taste, I'll say. I feel like that's a tough, those are two tough ones. I feel like two tough favorites. I don't think many people would say those. So that's good stuff. Chris, do you want to go? Should I go? What are you
for me, I think I took it from a playability standpoint with the handheld, and I would have to say probably a DS Lite. Like the option to have both DS games and Game Boy games.
Pretty comfortable. Comfortable too.
It's comfortable. It was the dual screen first thing. Like I played a lot of DS Lite. I played DS games. I played obviously Game Boy games, and just like the functionality of that, taking it from like being on the bus and doing Picto chat with people on the bus, like that was an OG thing. So DS Lite for sure. And then I really like the PS3 controller.
I don't blame you. It's a solid controller, but it's like,
but it's just a DualShock controller up until the PS4, right?
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah, basically. I always thought the Xbox controllers were too bulky for me.
I love them.
Too bulky is so interesting. So I got to go PS3 or PS4 controller.
All right, and those are good. Those are good answers. I really like the DS Lite answer. I really like
that. Only plays like that's just Game Boy Advance, right? It doesn't go backwards.
No.
Oh no, you're right, Peg City. But the DS Fat, I think the true answer. I think the DS Fat might have played
Game Boy Color game.
I could be wrong still.
I think it's just Game Boy Advance.
So then that's not as good as an answer as I thought.
I forget what it is.
Well, I think you're thinking of the Analog Pocket, bro.
I don't have an Analog Pocket. While you're doing your answer, I'll Google it.
All right, here's my take. Controller has to be the Xbox 360 controller. Xbox 360 controller is, bro, it is so comfortable. The curves of that thing.
Only GBA.
The lines, the curves, the buttons, the clicky clacks. Dude, the shoulder buttons are perfect. The weight, if you threw that controller at someone's head, it would hurt, dude. And that's how I rate not all of my controllers, but at least some of the weightier ones, dude. Even the one, if you just, it's got good weight to it. I like a controller with decent weight in my hands. And then handheld, this might surprise some people. I'm gonna say PSP.
Really?
I'm gonna say PSP. I'm gonna go with most comfortable handheld is the PSP. Maybe not my favorite. Like I'd say my favorite handheld is maybe the Switch, but that's kind of like cheating because it's a hybrid.
Yeah, Switch, Switch in handheld mode, like
Although I play most of my Switch games in handheld mode, so I don't know. I like the PSP because number one, that's what I grew up with handheld. I had a DS too, but I played all the God of War games on the PSP, like everyone that released there, like it was sick. I played the golf games on the PSP. I remember playing those. Metal Slug, like there was a lot of good stuff, and it never hurt my hands, bro. I played the PSP for hours on end,
and the whole UMD aspect of it.
Yeah, how useful is that?
It's great. You never watched a movie on a car ride?
Yeah, but you could just sideload those on even better. It was a whole media player, honestly.
Yeah,
that's actually really true. And I mean, dude, I would be lying to you if I didn't search a couple naughty things on a PSP before. I would be straight up lying to you. Dude, the PSP, you could connect to the internet on that bad boy.
It was the first handheld you could do it on.
That you could definitely do it on that handheld. Is all I'm saying. That handheld was, let's just say to a fucking 11-year-old boy that was finding things. That was a good handheld. That's why I like the PSP, dude. For that fact and that fact only. Sue me, dude.
And on that note,
I
become Scout.
I think that is a weird.
Koozie goes bust on the PSP.
Yeah. I don't know. That's on that note. Yo, T, it's been great having you tonight, man. Thank you for being here, bro. It was a wonderful
thanks for
time.
the invite,
great
guys.
Podcast, of course, bro. Where can people find you? Shout out your socials again.
Peg City 8-Bit across all socials. You guys can find me primarily on Instagram. I'm over on Twitter. You guys can find me on Twitch. I'm on TikTok, but it's just gonna be the reels. So if you guys are following me on Instagram, you'll see that stuff there. But Peg City 8-Bit across all socials, pegcity8bit.ca/links. Got all my shit there.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you again,
Thank you.
Chris. Anything else tonight, brother?
No, I'm gonna go play PSP.
You're not going.
You're gonna go watch porn on
shut up.
PSP.
Yeah.
I'm just playing games. I'm just playing games.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your night, guys.
You
Thank
guys
you.
take care.
Appreciate it. Peace.
See ya.